Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Glad you're here this afternoon. I invite you to sing along with me, okay? Help me out here. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start my day, knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Yes, I do. I am grateful, grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful, grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful, grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful, grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. Yes, the love of God is here.
Thank you so much, Penelope, and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. My name is Reverend Jean Bell. My pronouns are she and her, and I am so glad that you are with us today. If you are viewing on Facebook or YouTube Live, please like and share our broadcast so we can continue to spread the good news out into the world. Yes? All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to change gears here because one of our beloved members of a very long time has passed away. Her name was Judy Hadley, and she just lost her wife about 3 months ago, and that was heartbreaking enough. And then Judy has passed. So please send out love and blessings to her family and her friends. And one of her dear friends, Elaine and Annabeth, are here today in celebration of her life. So with that, we're going to go ahead and read through the affirmation, but keep them in your prayers, please. All right, I'm going to read the affirmation all the way through, and then I'm going to invite you to say it with me. I am a vessel of divine intelligence and love. I trust the guidance that arises within me and allow it to illuminate my path. In every situation, I meet life with gentle strength, calm trust, and unwavering conviction. Today and always, I celebrate the divine I am within, knowing that I am guided, supported, and empowered in its love. All right, let's say this with one voice together. Please join us if you're viewing. I am a vessel of divine intelligence and love. I trust the guidance that arises within me and allow it to illumine my path. In every situation, I meet life with gentle strength, calm trust, and unwavering conviction. Today and always, I celebrate the divine I am within, knowing I am guided, supported, and empowered in its love. And so it is. Thank you. Please welcome Mally Lapete with the announcements.
Thank you, Reverend Jean. Hello, all my deep rollers. Rolling in the deep. This is a great faith family. My name's Mally Lapete, and I gladly serve here on the creative arts team here at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. If this is your first time joining us, we're so happy that you're here and that you chose to spend time with us. Please make yourself known in the online chat or in the lobby outside, and one of our welcome team will speak with you. We have so many great opportunities to connect, grow, serve, give, you name it. For more information about today's announcements and other opportunities, take a moment to scan the QR code found on your monitor. Put on your dancing shoes and join us this Saturday, July 12th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for a summer dance party. Seize the moment and embrace the joy by dancing together or alone. With CJ, the DJ, he'll be hosting the celebration to celebrate his birthday with us, and we'll play all the hits to make it a night to remember. He'll also be taking requests throughout the night. This event is free, and we encourage you to bring your own beverage, BYOB. Visioning is vital. See, they trust us. We're adults, so they trust us. Visioning is vital to the sustainability of SLCA. Join SLCA practitioner Nana next Sunday, Join Nana next Sunday for our 5 o'clock hour as she leads our community in a vision for SLCA. This will take place every second Sunday, and we would love for you to join in. Reverend Jean invites you to join her every second Sunday during our 5 o'clock hour and discover the basic idea of the science of mind. This is a perfect opportunity for members and newcomers to discuss the basics of science of mind and spirit philosophy in a small group setting. These principles enhance your personal well-being and allow you to live a more freeing and fulfilled life. Yay. SLCA is in for a wonderful treat on July 27th. CSL's Next Gen Music Director, Jesse Powers, will join us to share songs and stories from the spiritual path. This singer-songwriter is a powerhouse filled with love. Invite your friends and prepare to give her a beautiful SLCA welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to visiting with you in the social hall after services for food and fellowship. Please be sure to speak with at least 2 people you have not met or have not spoken to in a while. We'll give you that. And remember, you belong.
Open your mind, unfold your heart, relax your senses, feel every part. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Breathe every breath. Release your cringe. Love without waiting, slowly unhinge. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound, unbound.
Let's just take a moment and focus on our breath. Just close your eyes and relax. Let your shoulders drop. Because each moment as we breathe, this is the energy of life coming in, the prana, as it is called in Eastern traditions. The inhale, the pause, the exhale, the pause. Even in the pause, we are in the act of breathing, and we are in Theos, we are in God, because all there is God. Everything in this room, outside this room, every interaction, every chemical compound, every chemical reaction, everything, it is God in action. And what I know is that I can never be outside of the divine, by whatever name you choose to call it, God, Spirit, whatever. And so right here, right now, I simply breathe. And know that no matter what happens in my life, in the lives around me, there is still more good in this world, more joy in this world, even when it may not feel like it. There is always something more to experience, something greater. There is more creativity than I've ever realized, and I am more powerful than I have ever realized. So I find reasons in the midst even of seeming insurmountable things to find joy. I am grateful to those who lift me up, on whose shoulders I stand by being here today, all the way back to whenever the first gem of an idea of science of mine came to be. I stand on the shoulders of some spiritual giants, and I am so grateful to everyone. And each of us has that opportunity to be that for someone else. Our actions and our energy can speak louder than our words, but let our words match up with our inner feelings, our inner knowings, because I know and I know that God is all there is. So today I rejoice. I rejoice in being here. I rejoice for every hand that brought this service together. I rejoice for the peacekeepers in the world. Those are bringing peace. Those are holding the hands who may be troubled, sick, hungry, despairing for any reason. And so I know that I send my word out into the law, and it is made manifest. And I declare that peace on earth is certainly possible. It's happening more in every moment here, no matter what we may see. I declare that health is possible. Health of ourselves, our air, our environment, our entire world. That there's more than enough for everyone, and that there's certainly enough love. So I find lights to rejoice in. And wherever this message goes that I'm speaking right now, this prayer goes, it is blessed and received. And it lifts up those who in any way experience it. And so knowing that this is already so, because it is in the law, I simply say thank you. I say namaste, aloha, blessed be shalom, amen, ashe. And if you care to join, and so it is.
You can't stop waiting for love to find you. Look inside your heart. Love's already who you are. So lift up your voice. Let it be heard. Tell me your story, tell it to me. Don't leave out a word. 'Cause I think I've been there too, and I'm a seeker just like you. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound, unbound.
Lighting the flames of faith. A call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We recognize the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We recognize the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of the primal spirituality. We recognize the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We recognize the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We recognize the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We recognize the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We recognize the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We recognize the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We recognize the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we recognize the healing candle, please put silently in the light the name of anyone you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I just love that, and I love Reverend Dr. Ursula Lentini's voice. It's so soothing, is it not? Yes. All right, this is our opportunity now for grateful giving, and I am so grateful to each and every one of you. I thank you for your offerings. I thank you for your donations. I thank you for your consciousness and your love. And so there's so many ways that you can give to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And as you can see on the screen, you can either text to Tide at 404-800-9467. You can go online to our website and give at slca.com/donations. Or you can take a picture of the QR code and give that way. But however you give, know that we are grateful, because it's because of your contributions we are able to continue to spread the good news of science of mind and spirit out into the world, which needs it so, so very much. All right. Will the ushers please come forth? Oh, I'm so sorry. You have to forgive me. Join me in saying our grateful giving. Ready? Together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life turns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Join me as we bless these offerings by extending your hands forward. For we know that we are one, and energy flows through each and every one of us, and that energy is the one power, the one source, the one substance that is back of all creation. I know that these offerings are best and continues to bring forth the good news of new thought out into the world. We are grateful for this and so much more, and so it is.
Thank you, Jean. So music, to me, is all sacred, right? So this song by Adele called Rolling in the Deep, here it is. It's one of the lyrics is, the scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. They leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all. Rolling in the deep, you had my heart inside of your hand. So powerful. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and is bringing me out the dark. All right. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and is bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your ship bare. See how I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and is bringing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us, that keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. They can't help feeling we could have had it all. Rolling in the deep, you had my heart inside of your hand, and you played it to the beat. Throw your soul through every open door. Come on now, count your blessings to find what you look for. Turn my sorrow into treasured gold. You pay me back in kind and reap just what you sow. Oh, we could have had it all. Oh, we could have had it all. Rolling in the deep, you had my heart inside of your hand, and you played it to the deep. Thank you.
So much. Give that woman another hand. When I came in here, she sounded like a frog. She has a cold, and she did an amazing job. You're such a professional, and thank you so much. Rolling in the deep. Greetings, everyone. Again, I'm Reverend Jean Bell. My pronouns are she and her. And today, we're going to talk about living spiritual principles, come what may. So, the monthly theme is rolling in the deep. But today, we're going to talk about these spiritual principles and how we can apply them in our lives, especially when stuff gets too deep, when we get overwhelmed by the things that life throws at us. And we all might feel that life sometimes gets rough, like we're being rolled over by it, that we're being overwhelmed. We see things in the news and we go, you got to be kidding me. This, that, when's it going to stop? So, it kind of reminds me of a situation in my life when I was way, way in too deep, literally. So I want to tell you about it. It was the early summer of 1996, and I learned how to swim at the age of, well, that's not important. That part's not important. And so one of the first things you learn when you learn how to swim is how to float and how not to panic, yes? All right, so I learned how to float and I learned how to swim, and I was so happy that my friends were willing to take the time out to help me achieve this wonderful goal. You see, I love, and I still do love being in the water. But I was always limited to the shallow areas of the pool or the ocean. Everybody else out there in the deep end, but not me. So learning how to swim was liberating. Later on that summer, I traveled to the States because at the time I was living in Germany with a dear friend, and we were visiting some of her friends, some of my friends, but especially my family. And we made several stops in Texas. And one morning, we decided to go for a walk. We were staying at a hotel. Well, we were in San Antonio, and it was hot and extremely humid. And in hindsight, I realized that we hadn't taken the opportunity to acclimatize ourselves to the high temperatures and the humidity. So after the walk, we decided to go down to the pool and cool off and relax. I decided, I know how to swim. I'm going to get in the water. And I did a couple of laps going back and forth, and after about the fourth laps, I realized I was exhausted. And I stopped swimming, and I was in the deep part of the pool. And I kind of went from like this to like this, and I panicked, and I went under. And when I came back up, I was in full-blown panic mode, and I yelled at my friend to come help me. And she jumped in the pool, and I grabbed hold of her. And in my panic, I pulled her under. But there was something in me that said, let her go. And I did. By this time, I'm in full-blown panic. I'm crying, I'm dog pedaling, but I'm getting nowhere. And she immediately swam away from me, got out of the pool, and yelled at me and said, "You have been swimming all morning. Take a deep breath Go under and swim with all your might towards me, and I will pull you out. You can do this." Between my gasping for air, I agreed and took a deep breath, and I went under and swam toward the side of the pool, and my dear friend pulled me out. Now, at the time in my life, I wasn't acquainted with the spirit science of mind and spirit philosophy. But when I look back at that terrifying day, and it was terrifying, because I had nightmares, waking up 4 nights in a row, in a wet sweat and panic. I realized that that episode had a lot of spiritual lessons to be had from that experience. First and foremost, in my panic, I forgot the very first lesson of swimming. It is not to panic. Just lean back, relax, and float. My friends that taught me how to swim told me that if I should ever become fatigued, get a leg cramp, or find myself in too deep of water, relax your body and simply float. You can call for help, but just relax. It can save your life. However, in my fear, I forgot everything I learned, and I find this to be applicable to so many on the spiritual path. When life situation seems the worst, or when things are simply overwhelming, those that are not truly anchored in spiritual principles will forget who they are and what they already possess within them. And when we find ourselves rolling in the deep of an unfavorable situation, we can indeed forget that divine intelligence, the source of our being, is ever available and immediately at hand. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit Philosophy, said in a book titled, "This Thing Called You," "No matter what confusion appears at the surface, there is always a place of calm at the center of your being. No matter how turbulent the waves may be on the ocean of your experience, beneath there's a changeless peace. Your being is indeed submerged, but you're not lost in the infinite." So now back to my story. My friend who jumped in to save me, in the midst of my panic, I almost drowned the both of us. And so the second thing I want you to take note of is that there was this voice from the depth of my being that said, "Let her go," even in my full panic. Now remember, I wasn't in this philosophy, but I didn't have to be to recognize something was guiding me. And I obeyed. That still small voice, or that voiceless knowing, I call it my spiritual intuition, is always with us. But so many times we second guess it, or we ignore it, or we wait for a sign, or we wait when Mercury retrograde is over. Or we wait for the next moon cycle because heaven knows we cannot do anything when the moon is in the waning phase. Or we wait until we are so-called worthy enough. But I'm here to tell you, you're already worthy. You're already filled with that power and presence. But do you believe that you are, and are you willing to hear Spirit's guidance in your time of need? In the midst of my fear, I knew this voice because I've heard it before. I knew this feeling was right. Even in the midst of my fear, I listened and I let her go. The next thing that happened that day was my friend very loudly reminded me of what I was capable of, what I innately knew how to do. She yelled at me and said, "Listen to me, you've been swimming all day long," pointing out the fact that I have the ability to save myself. And then she told me, "You just need to do it. Swim now." She reminded me of who I was and that I just need to have enough faith in my own ability to move that faith into action. Because we all know the saying that faith without what? Is dead. It is dead. Faith without action is dead. Because you can have all the faith you want to, but if you don't do anything on that faith, it's not going to do anything. And the action that she knew I could do was to make it to the side of the pool, and she would be there to pull me out. Her words that day jarred me out of my fear long enough for me to believe a greater truth, the truth that I can swim. And in that moment, I not only knew I could, but I knew that I had to. I had to put into action what I knew what I could do, and I had to get my panic-stricken self out of the way enough to take a deep breath, go under the water, and set my intention on swimming toward the wall of the pool. I had to cut through my fear and fatigue and remember that I knew how to swim, and I began to swim. And true to her word, my dear friend was there to pull me out. And for us as metaphysicians, we all know when you act as if God is within you, because it is. When it comes down to it, we fall into spiritual alignment and we remember what we are capable of, and that all of Spirit's attributes, all of its wisdom, its power, its love, its beauty, its joy, its abundance, all of its divine goodness is with us. It is in us. For Spirit has written its attributes as spiritual DNA on the very fabric of our life. When you know, and you know that Spirit is within you, you change. Your whole persona change. You walk differently. You talk differently. And you don't need permission from anyone to live your life fully. You stop living as an outcast, and you start living as a divine being. You start living, walking, and talking as if this truth was written upon your heart, because it is. You know who you are, an individualized, unique expression of God. I see you over there, Tony Jenkins, with some dark shades, walking in. What time is it? When we know that we are divine like Tony, we stop betraying ourselves with our actions and our words and our negative thoughts. We stop letting fear paralyze us and forgetting that we are sons, daughters, children of the Most High. Holmes tells us in the Science of Mind, no, actually he tells us this in the Declaration of Principles. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, put it back. He tells us that the highest God and the innermost God is one God, and that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. From a metaphysical perspective, my dear friend served as a way shower, a divine heralder, reminding me of what I am and what I am capable of being and doing. She could have panicked too, but she remained calm, and she spoke her words of truth about my ability, just like the practitioners here. They know a greater truth for and about us when we can't know it for ourselves. And at that point in time, my fear made me forget of what I was capable of. And she told me to come out of my fear. What I learned from that frightening experience is that an inexperienced swimmer needs more practice swimming, but more so than anything, needs more practice on how to float and how to tread water in a dangerous situation. And it's the same thing with spirituality. We need to remember that with any newly learned skill, we need to practice our spiritual tools of affirmative prayer, meditation, affirmations, visualization, and the life visioning process in order to become strong and steadfast in the principles of science of mind, because practice does indeed make one a master. Then when we're rolling around in the deepest of situations and when all things around us are in a chaotic state, we do not fear or panic because our spiritual practices have anchored us and we stand secure, come what may. Had I taken more time to practice floating, relaxing in the deep part of the pool while my instructors were around, I would have reinforced the life-saving skill I needed that day, which was simply floating. We must remember that the science of mind philosophy is not a quick fix, say a few affirmations and bam, I'm an ascended master. Nope. The science of mind places its emphasis on training thought, learning the principles through practice. The cornerstone of living the science of mind is daily spiritual practice until it becomes embodied in our hearts and minds, until it becomes second nature. You don't have to muster this power. You only need to align with it and come to a deep understanding that Spirit is within you. I am with you always, and all that I have is yours. I will never forsake thee, not in your time of trouble, not when things get deep, not when things get rough. I am with you always, says this power. Even as you walk through deep valleys and your heart is filled with fear and it seems as though the whole world is against you. How many of you feel like the whole world is against you? How many of you that are part of the LGBTQIA plus family feel like the world is against you? How many of you that have brown skin, yellow skin, black skin feel like the world is against you? How many of you women here feel like the world is against you? But I'm telling you, when you stand on these principles, no one and nothing can come nigh thy dwelling place because the Spirit is with you always, always. Living the spiritual principles of the science of mind is a lifelong commitment to growth, alignment, and faith. And it doesn't mean that life stops lifing in unfavorable ways, no. But through daily spiritual practices, we cultivate a deep connection to the divine, allowing us to navigate life unpredictability with grace and strength. Yes, by embodying these truths, we not only transform our own lives, but we also inspire others to awaken to their highest potential. Come what may, the practice of living in alignment ensures that we remain steadfast, resilient, and aligned with the infinite love and wisdom of the universe. I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes. He says, "Stay with the one and never deviate from it. Never leave it for a moment. Nothing else can equal this attitude. To desert the truth with a capital T in the hour of need is to prove that we do not know the truth. When things look the worst is the supreme moment to demonstrate to yourself that there are no obstructions to the operation of truth. When things look the worst is the best time to work, the most satisfying time to work. Come what may." Now, before I close, I just want to say, truth with a capital T is that Spirit that is within you, because that is the only truth that remains steadfast and permanent. The Spirit in you. So if you desert that truth in the hour of need, you're deserting Spirit. And to prove that we have no faith in the indwelling presence, will the practitioners please come forth? These practitioners have studied long and hard to know a greater truth for you as well as for themselves. I ask that you avail yourself to them for prayer. So I would like for you all to turn within with me, because this is what I know. I know that there's one power, one source, one substance that's back of all creation. I know that the manifest universe is indeed the body of God. And I know that everyone that is within the sound of my voice are indeed individualizations of this one power, this one spirit, this one love, this one divine life. And I am so grateful. I am grateful for the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I am grateful for all of its ministers, Reverend Dr. David Alexander, Reverend Susan Zala. I am grateful for all of the practitioners. I am grateful for every single member and all of its friends and visitors. I am indeed grateful for everything that everyone does for this center, because without you and without Spirit, there would be no center. And for that, my heart is filled to overflowing with love. I know that this power and presence goes forth and is a healing balm to anyone that is in need of prayer, in need of a hug, in need of assurance that there's a power within them that will always hear them. Son, daughter, my child, I am with you always, and all that I have is yours. And in this knowingness, I release this spiritual mind treatment, this affirmative prayer into the law, the universal law which is God. For I know it receives the direct impress of my thoughts and my feelings, and without fail, acts upon it. Please join me in sealing this treatment together as we say, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Jean Bell. Yeah. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. Envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world